What's up, guys? Welcome to episode number 5 of the Discipline and Legacy podcast. We got my man Bryan El Gallo Duran here with us today. BKFC extraordinaire, future champ. This guy right here, as you guys know, with the Discipline and Legacy podcast, we like to showcase folks that kind of come from adversity, kind of come from a background of hard times. I think all of us who are successful have gone through times like that where we have to put discipline into our lives and to be able to get through those times and to get to the successful part of our lives. It takes failure to reach success. So I wanted to bring Bryan on here to share a little bit about his background and his story as he came up through the ranks and to where he is right now. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about that walk, that journey from the beginning.
Well, first of all, my brother, thank you for having me. Appreciate it. I know we've been talking about this for a while. We finally made it happen. And, the devil tried to play, like he said, today in the morning. But we made it happen with, we stood on business, and I'm glad, we both made it here. So, yeah, bro, my name is Bryan Duran. I was born in Cuba. Mm-hmm. My dad left Cuba when I was like 9 months. He had to leave, problems over there, like for feeding us over there. It's illegal to feed your family,
Wow.
Everything's controlled. So if you're eating what they don't want you to eat, like red meat is illegal over there, things like that. He was just feeding us, there's always a snitch somewhere. And he had to leave me. So me and my mom, we stayed over there for 9 years alone. And so I came over here first. My mom came a year after. And, life started for real then. I got here, I faced adversity since...
Here in Miami?
In Miami.
Yeah.
I faced adversity since the first fucking week that I got here. I got to school and kids were already making fun of the way I looked, the way I dressed, because I come from another country. Over there, everything's different.
Yeah.
So as a kid, you come dressed. You never had a book bag that has little wheels, and I wanted one of those. It was, I still remember, it was the Ninja Turtle book bag.
Yeah.
And, I never had something like that. We didn't have the privilege of having things like that. So kids were already past that stage in 4th grade, At that time, it was when everybody was ghetto, even from elementary. Kids were already ghetto back in the days. So I get there, they start making fun of me, whatever. I start facing all of that. Going through high school, middle school first. That's when I make the drastic change. That's when I said, oh no, I'm gonna stand on business now. And I always knew how to fight, but my dad told me, yo, this is not Cuba. You fight over here, you're gonna go to jail. I'm gonna go to jail. Like, you gotta relax. He was just scared because I was a violent kid since Cuba. He used to hear my mom used to tell him, yo, he's fighting every day in school. So me, I barely know this guy. He's my father, but I barely know him. I'm not trying to get a random guy in trouble. So that whole year that my mom was in Cuba, I suffered a lot, man. And I fucking said, fuck that shit. And I ended up fucking knocking out one of the biggest bullies I had. That to this day now we're friends now,
Yeah.
But back then he was a real bully to me, bro, But he didn't know no better. And yeah, man, I went to high school, became part of gangs, I was just already lost when it came to violence. My life always was violence. I always been a respectful individual. Never was really a thief. Never was really none of that. I've done my stuff, but I was really a violent person. That's really what I was. I had a lot of anger in me, I guess, growing up without my dad in Cuba, all of that, struggling with my mom.
Yeah.
Just coming from that crazy communist mindset, as a kid. And I was really aware of everything that was going on. And then going through bullying when I get here, thinking, okay, we finally made it out. Bullshit, boom, I run through something even worse now. Now the kids, I don't even have friends now. I miss my friends from Cuba, all that, So I guess I became, I had trauma, I guess you can say. Mm-hmm. And yeah, man, I fucking had my first kid at 19. I'm running through the story to not get into detail.
You're good,
right now.
man.
We're going to get more detail later. But yeah, man, I had my first kid at 19, and that's when I started making changes, like I started slowing down the pace a little bit. I still was in the streets. I still was trying to I was in the music industry. So, I was still trying to thug it out, and because that's all I knew. And bro, randomly, I had like a breakup with the mother of my kids, and I meet this girl, and she fucking changed my mind. So it was a relationship, but it was more like a calling from God that put somebody in my life to give me that wake up call. And I appreciate that person to this day. We ended up breaking up like a year and a half later. The day after my debut, we broke up. Look how life works.
Yeah.
But that was the person that I was super out of shape, way more out of shape than I am now, because I am pretty out of shape right now, but way more out of shape. And I was on drugs and stuff still. And told me, yo, what the fuck are you doing? boom, put me in the gym. You know, that person helped me out, cleaned me up. My homeboy gave me an idea one day. Why don't you start fighting? You're doing the music shit, it's just violent. You spend too much time away from your kids. You don't bring them to the, you know, it's, at least there, you can bring your kids to the gym with you. You know, I'm like, I thought about it. I'm like, you know what, bro? That's crazy as fuck for me to do it now. I'm fucking 26 years old, but I'm gonna fucking try it out.
Yeah.
I went, bro, and I fucking remember I had a fan that ended up being my first coach / first manager. And I hit him up, and the guy told me, yeah, just pull up to the gym, let's have a meeting. I pull up, and he's like, look, bro, this game is about numbers. Yes, you gotta be a good fighter. You can't be a bitch either, but if you can fucking put people in them seats, you're gonna make some money. I said, all right, say less. BKFC was just starting. People didn't even know about BKFC.
Yeah.
I will mention BKFC, people be like, what the fuck is that? In Miami. Nobody knew about it at all, bro. I'm telling you, nobody in my circle had ever seen that. When I was training for it, I was showing people what I was about to do, and everybody thought I was psycho. So I was like, yo, bro, just trust me. 6 months down the line, I finally get an opportunity to debut at the Charles Dodge Center over there in Pembroke Pines.
Yeah. That's like the intro spot.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's the day I actually met Tomahawk.
Okay.
Yeah. After I fought that day, whatever, I won in the second round. I come out, and Tomahawk was there sitting with my family and everything, whatever. It was a real emotional day. And what I felt that day, just imagine this, I did that just for a little opportunity. I'm super broke. I did that for a little opportunity to make some type of money, to see if I use that money to go back to the music. That's what my idea was at first, you know? But bro, when I felt that vibe and I saw the support I had, that I never felt that in the music shit, I felt just, it was my calling, bro. And I was like, bro, this is what the fuck I gotta do.
Yeah.
And yeah, here I am now, 4 years down the line. And man, I'm super thankful that I took that chance. And I knew God was speaking to me through other people in those moments, you know, and through like the people he put in front of me and the opportunities and things like that were not just blanks, you know, they were fully loaded, you know. So I took it and I felt it, and here I am, bro.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, I can identify with the part where you talked, you know, obviously, I think a lot of people who've struggled coming up in life where we come from the streets, you call having a street mindset.
100%.
You know, I tell people even today, like, if you take half, because you have to be intuitive, you have to be checking to make sure the next guy's not going to get over on you. You have to have that always in the back of your mind. Is somebody you trust, you can't trust them. And like, you have this intuition that's built into you from being from that, to where like, if you use half of that mindset and put it towards something positive, like anything is possible. And I think that goes back to the faith part, right? Where you see like, man, this is adding up. Like, God put this together. He made this connection happen. He made this woman come into my life. He made this happen for me to go in this direction. So, and then once you start seeing it, man, that discernment becomes, it's like muscle memory. So you start seeing it in all areas of your life. You start seeing it in your past, where you're like, man, he was there back then at this spot, like, show. And if I didn't have him in my life then, I wouldn't be where I am today.
And like, that's the thing, bro. Sometimes there's certain people that come in our life. It could be friends, relationships. It could be a random person on the road, you know. And people come in our life for a certain amount of time,
Just a
season, bro. And it could be hours, it could be days, it could be years, but it's for a certain reason. You gotta learn to appreciate and not get too attached, especially to individuals. You know what I'm saying? Because you will hurt yourself if you attach yourself to anything in life, you know. And that's the thing. The one thing that never changes is change. That's the only thing that's never gonna change. It's nonstop. Change is happening every day.
Every day, every
moment. As long as
moment.
you understand that, and I feel like that's where the mindset comes from, where we come from the bottom. That is like, we had no option, so we had to adapt to everything. So the acceptance of the moment is something that plays a big role, especially now.
It's almost like, oh, well, I know I'm here. I got to go through it. I got to do it.
When we're up, no matter how bad things happen.
100%. You just, like, no matter what, I got to go through this. Like, I don't have what I want. I don't get the clothes that all the other kids have. I don't have, you know, and you touched on something big, too, because, like, you know, I come from a family, you know, my wife is immigrant. We have her kids, my stepchildren are immigrants. And, like, you know, you have you might not have everything that everybody else has, but you have a different mindset, you know, and I picked up big on that when I married my wife. And when I met my wife, is it like just the gratitude of just waking up in the morning. Like, a lot of us take that for granted. Like, the true American dream is dead for, in my opinion, for most Americans. Like, you get folks that are coming from other countries and stuff and saying like, man, I could do everything here.
Exactly.
And you guys are sleeping on it. Like
it's like the saying that they say, you want to know how to break a man, you give him everything, you take it from him. That only works when you like from a place like America.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And it sounds fucked up because I love this country, but it's the mindset that people get built because they don't appreciate, they don't understand how valuable this country is. So they're born here and some of them don't even, how do you say this? They don't even want to get anywhere, or there's a word for that. They don't want to achieve anything, you know? They're happy where they're at because they're used, it's easy even being a 9-to-5er here, but when you come from
comfortable,
I guess another country as an immigrant, you know, at least me, I can speak in my shoes, you know, and you see what life really is somewhere else, and you appreciate this country so much. It's like, yeah, you could have everything, you could lose it, it's still not gonna break you.
You get to eat steak now, red meat.
I'm sponsored by Toro Loco.
Yeah, man,
I'm eating steak whenever I want,
yeah.
You know, and it's like those little things that people don't appreciate. You know, being able to wake up today and be like, damn, I'm gonna go to work, but my time is gonna be worth something. Even when I get out, I can go and spend a little money, even if it's to go eat, even if it's something that small. But then again, I can settle for something that's small. Me, in my eyes, I feel like my goal is to help people. Why? I'm gonna tell you why. The same thing that you were saying earlier, that, you know, when you come from where we come from, is hard to see people make it out. So we are like a hope to the younger generation, or the people that we grew up with, people that went to school with us. There might be somebody that at 50 or 45 is gonna fucking start their life now. Like, no, now I'm gonna change it, and it's never too late. But
never.
I feel like that's one of the things that we are here for. You know, like people like us, man. Because at least me, I feel so good when I give to people. Like, it's not about materialistic
100%.
things, but when I can just take somebody out and pay for their food, and I see the smile on their face, they're happy to eat something, and they're like, you know, maybe they're not in the same position as us, and they're happy, like, damn, I don't have to waste
so
money.
Grateful.
I'm so happy for that moment. Like, people don't get it. Like, my wife sometimes, yo, you gotta slow down. Like, you know, like, yes, you like to help people, but you gotta slow down. You can't just be handing people things. And sometimes I tell her, you know, you don't understand that. Like, I do this shit because I really feel like it. You know what I'm saying? I really feel like it.
I mean, that's what God says that in the Bible. It says it doesn't matter what you have, or it's just being a cheerful giver. You know, being okay with giving something away.
You gotta feel it, bro. That's just in you, bro. And when you know it, and it's hard to explain. A lot of people talk about it. There's people that do fundraisers and do this, and it's all fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Sorry for my words, but you know, it's just how I feel about it. Because then there's people like me that do this off camera. Like, even my media people, you know, like friends. I'm not gonna say names. Like, yo, you should have gotten that on camera. I don't want to get that on camera. That's how I felt. Like,
the
I
right
wanted
hand
to do this
shouldn't
right
know
now.
what the left hand's gonna do.
Yo, you took it out of my mouth. That was my next thing. You know?
Yeah.
I was like, exactly.
So I mean, and it's true, man. Like, the true cheat code for me, like people ask me, was like, as soon as I started getting, and you don't have to even give your money. It's giving of your time, giving of your experiences, giving of your knowledge that you have to others is powerful. And for me, that was a cheat code. As soon as I started freely giving, no matter what it was, my cup started overflowing, you know? And I do things not expecting anything in return, but God just keeps throwing it at me.
And that's exactly what it is. But then again, you got to do it how you and me do it, because we generally want it, not expecting God to give us anything, because then God's like saying, oh no, you're only doing that expecting something. It's not like that.
I feel guilty sometimes, because like I go into the county jail and we go in to bring a message in there, and I feel like I get more out of it than they do, you know. And these guys are like locked in. We're shaking hands at the end. They're asking us to pray for them and stuff like that. And it's like, I'm like, dude, I'm happy that I get to be there, let alone, for, like I said, just I feel guilty for even, having that experience.
I know what you mean, but then again, bro, it's all genuine how we feel about it. Like, again, like we're doing this because we generally want to do it. So that's what God is going to continue to bless us. And from the beginning, bro, no matter how broke I was, no matter how hard my life was, no matter where I was sleeping that night, I was always grateful, because I knew that the next day I was going to be able to wake up and keep chasing something. And even as a kid, man, I didn't know how to explain it, bro, but I always knew I was meant for something, bro. It was weird, bro. And I figured it out. It's just, people think it's not about being the world champion. It's not about being the biggest name in BKFC. It's about what I can do with all of that.
Your purpose.
This I see it. Fighting, social media, all that is the trampoline to what I really want to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm just using that. It's a platform for me to be able to help and do what I want to do. Because when I'm able to have financial freedom, I'm able to go to another country, go to Cuba, and give out fucking 1,000 shoes to kids that don't have shoes and things like that. That I'm able to actually go and do all of that, which it takes more money than people think to be able to step in another country and be able to give over there. You know, when I'm able to do all of that, that's when I'm gonna be happy. You know, like not only Cuba, I'm saying Cuba, that's where I'm from, but this bunch of other countries that need it probably even more.
I mean, here in America, you got
there's kids in America that need that, you know. So it's like, I want to get to the point that none of that hurts me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not taking from my family to give to anybody else, and that's why I grind so hard, and that's why I use this. And yeah, money's not everything, but it is important, especially when this is what we want to do.
100%.
You know.
What would you say, like, you know, obviously, you know, we come from a similar background as far as, like, you know, we've been incarcerated. I've seen your mug shots and stuff, and I think that's what's powerful is that people can see you, that you came, you know, from an area in your life where you know, almost hopeless, I guess, and to where we are today. What would you say was the turning point for you when you truly found, like this is what I'm supposed to do, this is my purpose, and how did that change your drive on a daily basis? I think you talked about it a little bit. It was the young lady came into your life.
Yeah, but I feel like when I had my daughter, I started seeing life a lot different. Like I really, like I said, I was still stuck in a hole, but that's when the click happened. Mm-hmm. And it's like I didn't cold turkey my lifestyle, but I was already like, I knew, I accepted that there was a problem. And that I had to change it, you know? And I moved to Vegas. That's the first step I did. I moved to Vegas. I was over there for like 5-6 months, something like that. Mm-hmm. And bro, when I finally had a couch, when I finally had a bed, my house was organized. The only car we had as a family, because I moved out there with the mother, my kids, and our 3 kids. Back then, it was 3, now it's 4. Moved with my daughter was a baby. Like I'm talking about, she didn't know how to walk, nothing. And we moved out there. And bro, my only day, like the first day ever that I wake up at 5:30 in the morning to go, because I was doing Uber Eats in Vegas, and it was paying a lot because it was COVID. So I wake up at 6 in the morning to go do it for the first day, bro. She tells me, no, don't wake up so early. Leave it like at 9. Man, let me wake up early so I could finish and come back and we go have lunch somewhere. I wanted to do something with the family. Bro, I'm driving, doing my first delivery. A taxi driver gets in front of me and swerves. I brake, but when I brake, I'm passing through an intersection, and you know where it doesn't rain, so there was sprinklers. Bro, my little Toyota Corolla, fucking, well, it was a Camry actually, fucking slipped up. I hit the curve, the axle broke, so I started spinning. I landed in the middle of the road. When I think I'm good, a car comes and hits me. Bam! Total loss, whatever. They ended up blaming me. I didn't hit nobody. They hit me, but it was still my fault.
Right.
They said I should have hit the taxi, because the laws over there are different in traffic. I didn't know that. Moral of the story, a month and a half after that, I was able to, you know, get the flights to come down here again. I got the flights with everybody. I said, fuck, we're going back to Miami. Came back to Miami. When I got here, my mom lived in a 1-1. So all she was able to take care of right there without getting kicked out of that apartment was my baby mama and the kids. She couldn't have me. So, because, you know, the way I looked and all that shit was going to bring a lot of attention. And she was new there. My mom was only there for like a few months since I left to Vegas. So I leave my baby mama there. And that's when like things started like kind of like separating between me and her. You know, I was sleeping at my homeboy's house and I would go out. And, you know, I was like 2-3 months that I was like I thought like, you know, I was depressed, man, because I tried to change my life. I go over there and that happened to me and I was questioning. I even questioned God. I'm like, yo, God, what the hell? Like I got away from that life. But God didn't want me over there. Like my purpose was here. And he had to do whatever it took for me to be down here. So that had to happen. No matter how disciplined I was, no matter how good I was doing. No, that's not what you were supposed to do. Right. No matter how far you want to get away from your goal. I mean, from your, your destiny. You're not going to get away from it. This is what I have for you. One boom. I started, like I said, 3 months partying over here. And then in the little moment, I met the girl that I met. You know, and I didn't meet her partying or nothing. And that's why I was let me give it a try to this, you know. And yeah, man, that's when I guess like the big boom,
She straightened you out.
That's when like the cold turkey happened. That's like when I completely like, you know, I was already thinking about it, you know, boom, but then I fall back into depression, like I said, and then when I found this, like a wake up call, like slap, like yo, wake the fuck up. This is the time now to go get it, and that's when I said, hey, let me lock in for real, and then I locked in, bro, and anything is possible, bro. That's all I gotta tell you. If you really want it, bro, like you gotta be willing to go through hell, though. Like that's
Amen. Yeah.
People don't understand this. When you want to make it to heaven, you got to go through hell. Like we are already in hell.
So they say religion is for people who don't want to go to hell, and spirituality is for people who've already been there and don't want to go back.
100%. So that's exactly what it is. It takes you to go put yourself through hell, so nothing can break you.
That's all we do, man. We like to. I told people my past was like, I would build this big beautiful life for myself, and I'm doing good, and everything's great, and then I'd take a lighter and light it on fire and just destroy everything again. And every single time, like I would come back and just come back hard. Everybody would be like, man, how do you always get good jobs? How do you always like get like, and because of that hustle, that grind, that street smarts that we learned, that like I would always come back, but I wasn't ready to change. Like people tell me all the time, they're like, yo, my homeboy's strung out on drugs. Can you talk to him? I could talk to him till he's blue in the face, but until he's ready, he's not going to change. So that point in your life where you were talking about this girl came in your life, like you had already been through everything you had to go through to be like, now my eyes are open. Now I definitely want to change because this is what's going on. So you had to be ready.
Bro. You had to happen. You know, things that had to happen. Like me and my baby mama were together since we were kids, you know? So like we knew. Yeah. So there was no...
There's a comfortability to it.
Exactly, you know, and she's a great woman, you know. She's not one of the street smart girls or none of that, you know what I'm saying? So it took me to meet somebody else that had been through stuff too and had to build themselves and was older than me and already been through the fire to be like, yo, this is what it is. Wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
That sad story, nobody give a fuck about it. That's where I learned that nobody's going to come save you. You got to do it for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and... I woke up and it was not like, yeah, I'm grateful. Like again, I'm grateful for that person. But even that person always told me, you're the one that took the decision. You made the decision to change. You made the decision to go to that gym every fucking day, put in the work. You're the one that came home and wanted to fucking eat correctly. You know, you're the one that went out, didn't eat bad. Like you made that decision. You did that.
Yeah.
And it's the truth, you know? So again, going back to what you said, you got to make the decision.
Sometimes it just takes somebody to reveal that to us in our lives because we can't see it ourselves. So, you know, like I said, God brought that into your life for a reason and for you to... I had a guy tell me yesterday, he's like, yeah, you know, I started dealing with this guy. He's been coaching me. And, man, this guy changed my life. And I'm like, he didn't change nothing. You did. You just had to have somebody show you, you know, what you needed to do and do it. I mean, most of us, I struggle with it still today where, like, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And I procrastinate, and it takes me 6 months to do it. Something so simple that would have took me, you know, a day to finish. But so let's go back to
sorry to hit, man.
You're getting into the beginning of the BKFC. So you're just now getting introduced to it. Like you said, it's a up and coming promotion.
Yes, sir.
Never fought before.
Never in my life.
Never fought.
Amateur fights, nothing.
So coming in here, like go back to let's walk through a little bit of that, the beginning of that.
Man, I got into the gym and I was in the gym where imagine my first actual camp or anything like that, you know, I'm in the gym and the camp that I was in are like to this day, one of the guys that was there, that was like the stud there, his name is Bryce Henry. He's one of the best BKFC fighters there is to this day, you know? And the guy's a fucking stud boxer. And imagine I walk into that gym with fucking killers. Like, they were younger than me, you know? They wanted a name for themselves. And imagine the sparring sessions, you know? I'm there fighting these guys that are fucking top-notch athletes, and I'm just a guy coming from the streets trying to, you know, recover from drugs, you know, all type of shit, you know? And, yeah, man, It was a great experience, man. It was tough as fuck. Like I said, you got to go through hell. Like my first sparring, I got my ribs broken by Bryce, you know?
Wow.
Yeah. So imagine my first sparring like that. It was a check. Like, do you really want to do this shit? You know, I could have gone back and said, nah, fuck that, and go drink and go do something stupid. But I knew what I wanted. I said, no, this is what it takes. This is what I'm going to do. What's the worst that can happen? Anyways,
yeah,
I'm going to have to do this shit in prison. If I go to prison. So might as well do this shit for real, legally, and, you know, take care of my family and make everybody proud. And I stood on it, bro. I kept fucking grinding every day. I showed up every day to the gym. I did whatever I had to do to recover from that rib. I fucking went and I fought with that rib fucked up. My shoulder came out of place in my first fight. Nobody even knows about this. I was able to win because I only fought 2 rounds. The guy quit. So, you know, I recovered a little bit. I kept fighting. I was 6-0 with an injury in my fucking shoulder. Crazy as fuck, you know? And I was facing adversity, man, because think about it. I'm around these guys that I'm, in a way, a fan of. I'm a super fan of these guys. And I'm, like, starstruck in a way, but I'm not showing it because I'm a man. I'm street smart. But, like, you know, inside, I'm super happy I'm around these elite athletes, and I'm being super nice to them, but all of them are fucking hating on me because I'm outselling them, and I'm the guy making the money. So I went through that from my second fight forward. Like, there was always hate towards me in the industry, hate from even people that probably worked in there that are probably not around anymore, people that are still around, God knows, you know what I'm saying? But I went through a lot. At the beginning, I felt like even the company saw me as like, oh, this street guy from Miami is just gonna last so long here. Just gonna fuck up probably, whatever, let's just, you know? That's how I felt. Maybe I was wrong because they treat me amazing now. But, you know, I had to earn that. And I had all those odds against me. So I stayed filled up, you know? I stayed filled up. Like, the devil was always trying to test me, bro. Like, I would go out and things would happen, you know? And, like, boom, hit social media. And it's like, damn, you know? And then, like, I was not even doing nothing wrong. I was just in the wrong place, wrong time. And people around me made mistakes. And, you know, all over the news and things like that. I went through things like that. And, you know, off camera, we'll talk about that more. But things, you know, crazy things happen. And the devil always try to test me, man. And it took a lot, bro. Because not only do I have to work harder than all these guys, because they've been doing it for 20 years, 15 years. I just started doing it 4 years ago. Now, back then, I was a year in. When I first started, I was 6 months. 6 months training, went straight to a fight with a guy that had 11 fights. Nobody does that. You know, and I felt like it was God taking care of me the whole time.
Well, that's where I think that being set apart part comes in, because like you just see certain people who are like gifted, man. Like it takes others kind of, like you said, hating on you for you to realize, like, well, maybe I'm unique, maybe I'm set apart, maybe God has a different plan for me than He does for everybody else. Because I remember growing up in the industry of like the field of work that I do, like. People would tell me like, oh, it took me 40 years to learn how to run a bulldozer. I'm like, well, and not being cocky, it only took me 4. So, I mean, just because it took me less time doesn't mean, you know, and you just level up quicker, you learn quicker. I always told people, man, I felt unique since a young age, and God kind of puts those gifts in us. Some people might have the same thing. They just don't see it and can't capitalize on it. I feel like
around the wrong people too.
And show me your circle, I'll show you your future. So, I can identify with that. I can identify with, and I guess, you know, not to be cocky again, I think it's just with being confident, and is, you know, if you're not getting hated on, then you're not doing something right.
You're not doing something right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Something's off.
Yeah. So, and that's just, it comes down to, you know, folks just want to be where you're at, and it's nothing against them. I'll help anybody get to where I'm at. I'll help anybody go above me. Just like I tell my son, I'm like, I don't want you to be like me. I want you to be better than me.
Better than me, exactly. That's the point.
And I don't have any problem helping somebody, whether it's if they're in the same business as me, whatever it is. Like I love giving of myself to others, because, you know, I want to see people succeed. I don't ever want to see anybody, you know, fall. And I think that's important.
100%.
Because I think you grow as you help others too. You know, you become more of a leader.
That's the only time that's how I see it. Look, I see life like this. You don't truly become a man until other people depend on you. When other people depend on you and they won't have, let's say, a plate of food or a roof, and, you know, you're the one that's responsible for that, you won't really become a man. Yeah. It could be your kids. It could be your mom. It could be your sister. It could be your little brother.
Well, somebody did it for you. Somebody did it for me. You know, we have that person in our lives that did something for us that, like, was the moment where we were like, man, if this guy never did this for me, I wouldn't be where I'm at.
100%.
And that's where it comes in, where God places people in our lives for a reason, and we are placed in people's lives for a reason.
100%, bro.
And, you know, having that discernment and being able to know, like, hey, this isn't me right now. This is God making this happen.
But you got to accept it. You got to understand it, you know? And like a lot of people want to reach to God when they're going through hard things, but when God gives them the fruits, they think that they achieved that themselves. And I feel that's a lot of people's downfall too.
Well, that's ego, right? Easing God out. When you say, I got this, I did this. Nobody helped me. You get to that point. I've been there. That's been my downfall multiple times in my life. But I had to realize that even now in my life, I did the footwork, but there was a team around me, you know, whether it was my wife being there supporting me, whether it was like my family just saying, hey, Johnny, like you can do this. Like, look where you came from, whether it's the people we grew up with that saw us when we were at our lowest. It happens to me every day, man. People are like, yo, Johnny, I remember I was in the jail cell next to you. And now look at us, you know, look at you. Well, there was a guy, we were in at the county jail on Rock Road. Just our cell had like 8 people in it. Me and him are the only ones that are still alive out of 8 people. Drug overdoses, car crashes, and it was like, I never thought about it like that. But obviously, you know, God spared me for a reason. You know, God spared us for a reason. So that's what I live my everyday on, man. Is
100%, bro. You gotta see it like that, bro. Bro, and it's like that too. Out of my circle, I feel like I'm the only one that made it out. Out of like everybody I used to hang out with, and I feel like, again, I feel guilty sometimes too, because like you want to help everybody, but like people don't want to help themselves sometimes.
That's my biggest saying, man. I can't help anybody who doesn't want to help themselves, and sometimes you just have to leave people where they're at, and you know, even if it's our own family, like
you have to, bro.
My own blood, like I had to keep beating my head up against the wall until I realized that I had to change. So me saying something to somebody else, and I do, it's not like I completely give up on people, but they're not ready. They're not going to change. They're not going to change.
100%, bro. Let's say, bro, even a rocket, when it goes into space, there's certain things that detach from it when it hits the atmosphere, you know? Not everything that you're with in the bottom is supposed to be at the top with you, you know what I'm saying? And it's sad, and some people be like, oh, you changed, but it's like, bro, there's certain energies, certain things that you just can't be around anymore. And like it would drain you from everything you work for, bro. It could be hanging around with people that are on drugs. It could be hanging around with people that are always on some negative things and playing the victim, and you just fall back into that mentality. And it's like people always want to say, oh, you got lucky. How the fuck did I get lucky? Why? Because I decided to get punched in the face and you did it? Like that's how I got lucky? Oh, no, you knew? No, bro. Anybody could have done what I did if they really wanted to do it and they believe they can do it. That's when the blessing comes in. You accept the blessing. God, the blessing is there. God has it for you. You got to accept it. And that's what I did. I accepted my blessing and I went and worked for it. Whatever it took for it, but I accepted it. And people always find that, you know, oh, you got lucky. Oh, no, you, because there was in a cuss. Like, oh, because, no, bro. You decided to do that. So sometimes people don't want to see that. And when you try to help them, and I try to take you to the lake for you to fish and give you a rod, but you still want me to be the one to throw it in there and pull it out. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
You know, like, bro, perfect example. I call him my cousin. We're like blood, bro. We're like literally the only thing that we're not blood is that we're not, you know. But we grew up together in this country. We met at church, so I feel like that was God putting him in my life. It's Crafty, the one you always see me with.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example of I take you to the lake and you know what to do. That's a perfect example. I didn't have to do anything for him. I brought him around and he knew how to handle himself.
Yeah.
Super respectful everywhere. Never made me look bad. Everybody has opinions about everybody, you know, whatever. Everybody has opinion of me, they have opinions about him. But when it comes down to me and my business and what matters, never let me down. And he figured it out himself. He learned from me. I took him to the lake. I taught him how to fish, and he learned how to fish.
That's right.
And then he was every day fishing. Even when I was sometimes sleeping or maybe doing something else, he was fishing. So I see that you can't tell me.
You go. I mean, that's the biblical. Like you could give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. You take him to go fishing, he'll eat for the rest of his life.
Exactly.
So
you can't tell people can't tell me, oh no, you changed or this and that. No, bro, I have the right here. Like, look at this. I have the proof right here that when you teach somebody to fish and they really want to do it, they're gonna do it, bro.
Yeah.
And that's the example. So when I see everybody else that wanna like play victim and they wanna play sad with me and this and that, it's like, nah, bro, it doesn't work. Like, you're not gonna break me. You're not going to break me, because all you're trying to do is break me so I feel less of myself, and then I go down and be at the same level as you. And it doesn't work like that. You got to come up here, brother.
You get to the point, too, where that happens to you so often that where just like when you're doing a chest press. Like, you know how to do chest press every single time. So if you're getting attacked all the time, like, eventually you just learn how to brush it off, because you're like, man, I'm getting attacked every single day. So it ain't, I know 100%. What's real and what's not, what to take into consideration and what not to take into consideration, because it's going to keep coming. It ain't going to stop. People think, like, you talked about your faith a little bit too. And I truly, God was the last thing I tried and the first thing that worked. But just because you become, you want to do the right thing all the time, that doesn't make life easier. That makes it harder, because you're getting attacked more when you get to that point. Like, people don't realize that. And it's how the only thing I have control over is the way I react.
100%.
I'm powerless over anything past my nose. So the only thing I can control is how I act or react in situations when people come at me. So, like, when those people are hating on me or talking junk about me, the only thing I can do is be like,
there's nothing else.
Because why would I let you steal my energy? Why would I let you rent space in my head for free? I don't allow it anymore. And
Your brain would destroy you if you let it.
Yeah.
So that's the last thing I want. Put you in my brain all day, rent free.
So what's next for El Gallo? What do we got on the agenda now? I know you're definitely moving into, you got the platform, right? You got the platform from the BKFC. You got the platform now. I see you with in the community of influencers, and you're dealing with one of the best churrasco places in town. You're just around the right people. What's next?
Man, God has blessed me to be around the greatest people, and I had to take that in consideration and, grasp onto it and squeeze the fuck out of it, how you say it. My bad using the bad ways. I just get emotional. That's not
You're good,
when I'm
man.
emotional.
You're
just
good.
What comes, that's the real me right here. You get in the raw guy right here, And man, not only with Toro Logo, but bro, look, I just got blessed with the Amnesia Vodka, like fighting got me where I'm at. And then obviously once the owner met me more and got to know me, Jacob, he got to know me a little better. He realized the person I am the same way you realize, and then little by little, we hung out more than you and me have, obviously we went out to eat together as family. I brought my family to his house. He met my family and things worked out how it was supposed to. And bro, all I can say now, I'm part owner of the company. I'm a shareholder of the company, and I feel like that's a blessing from God, and use a person like him to bless me with that. And I'm always going to be grateful of that person walking in my life and, believing in me, even if it was a little bit, and giving me the opportunity to do something. And that's why I've been going so hard. You see me on the social media. I wasn't around the influencers like that before. And the second I realized I had a product in my hand that I fell in love with, because that's another thing. One of the reasons that I even got more into like a conversation about the vodka was because I'm not a drinker. So when I tasted it at my house, just, I'm not going to sell something or promote something that I'm not going to, try out and know what I'm doing for real. I want to know if it's good or not. Yeah. So at least to my friend or my family will be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? But
it's your brand. You got to believe in it,
Exactly, bro. And I feel like when you believe in something, it comes out way more genuine, so it blows up for real. So whatever, I tried it out. I fell in love with the product. And that's when I had 3-4 meetings after that with him. And then, we ended up coming up to an agreement. And bro, I told him, you're not going to regret this opportunity that you're giving me. And I promise you, I'll be the best guy you ever involved with yourself with when it comes to marketing or doing anything like that. Nice. That's what I'm going to do. Bro, I've been grabbing that vodka and I don't step out of my house without a box in the trunk. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the way I believe that is going to go. And I've used in my platform, my resources, the people I know, people of power, the little people, the big people, whoever, it doesn't matter. I'm just using every resource I have to be able to take this vodka to the next level. And so far, they're pretty damn happy. They're pretty damn happy with me right now, and we changing a lot of things around in the team, and I'm glad I'm able to be part of that. I'm involving a few big people in the the circle that I have to help me promote this. And man, it's just, I'm seeing the way everything's just happening so easy that sometimes I catch myself in my house. I'm like, bro, is this real? Like, is this real right now? Because I don't believe it. It's like I'm stepping up to where I always wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? And it gets tough. The pressure gets harder. But then, how bad do you want it?
How bad do you want it?
So yeah, man, I'm super happy right now, man, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm making sure that Amnesia gets recognized by the entire world, and they realize that it's the best vodka in the world.
Okay.
You know, even if I'm a heavy drinker or not, which I'm really not, but I do drink Amnesia whenever I do drink. Whenever I need a cup, I'll drink Amnesia. And yeah, man, I feel like this is gonna show the world also like another side of me that they didn't think I was like possible, you know, like being a promoter. In
Well,
the
it's
sense
you
of, like,
showing yourself another side of you that you never thought you had.
I already
to.
knew it was there because God has gave me, like I said, bro, like, you know, when you think about something,
Yeah.
that's God telling you, like, that's the idea that God is planting in your brain, the seed that he's putting there for you to wake up. And I always seen it, and I always knew what the power I had in me, the influence I had in me. That's the most important. People don't get that, the influence. When I do something, people want to try it out and do it too. Like, even Toro Loco, I noticed, like, when I started going to Toro Loco and I started promoting them heavy, I realized my timeline started changing. Now my friends were going to Toro Loco. People that, you know, that I never knew in the music industry, that now they follow me. Now they're asking me, yo, can you take me there?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Where's
saying?
that spot at?
Yo, what's up? We'll give them a shout out. Take me over there to give them a
Yeah.
shout out. Like, things like that. And I'm like, you know, I realized that, you know, with them, I noticed it with the coffee too. Like, I got my people in Miami drinking the blackout coffee after they're buying it from
They're
my
right
link.
there. They're right there in my neck of the woods, right there in
Yeah, they're
Port
right there.
St. Lucie. Yeah.
Oh, look
Fort
at
Pierce.
that. Fort Pierce, look
Yeah.
at that. You know, I noticed with that too. Even if they're not buying it off me or through my link, I don't care. As long as like people are drinking it, that's all that matters to me. And
Right.
I've seen people tag me before, you know, and so I started noticing my influence when I started like really going hard for sponsors, which it was after my first injury when I realized, like, hold up, this career could be short term or it could be long term. It all depends how things happen. But I know one thing for sure. If I'm putting ass on seats and if I'm bringing eyes to whoever puts money behind me, I'm still going to be in the game, coach. So
Yeah.
I decided to, you know, take that promotion side a little stronger. And then from there, boom, 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 then it came the Amnesia, you know, and I feel like the Amnesia is really, since obviously I'm a shareholder, like everybody
You're
else.
sponsoring yourself.
Exactly. And I'm able to now, whoever meets the criteria, what's that word? How do you say that word?
Meets the criteria.
There we go. I'm a
did it. You
refugee. My
said
bad,
it, man.
Yeah,
You
I
said
said
it.
I said it a little wrong though. But you know, whoever meets that is gonna be able, you know, to be part of it too, in the sense of like get sponsorships that were never gonna happen. But now since I'm part of it,
Right.
now we're gonna be able to, things could be a little different. So God put me in a position and put a man, you know, that he's the owner of this, that to actually hear me out, though, you know, and see like, okay, the kid actually knows something. Obviously, I don't have the 100% say in it either. It's his company. I'm just part owner of it.
Right.
But you know, it's cool to know that I have the influence enough that I could be able to give an idea and it's heard. And they're in such a big company that's worth millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars now. You know what I'm saying? They're listening to what I gotta say. That I'm a kid that comes from Cuba.
I can identify exactly with that too.
You get what I'm saying?
I mean, the Alliance was a company that was started before me, and I came in, you know, 3 years ago to meet my partner Adam, and I was an estimator, as an estimator for this company, and I told him, I said, we could go after this, and this. We're gonna hit 40 million this year.
Look at that! And congrats, my brother.
And it's like, the guy gave me a chance, and the same thing. Like, I believe in that brand, just like it's my company, you know. And now it is. Now we're partners on it. So
that's what I'm saying, bro.
And from the like you said, like, man, I wake up in the morning, I'm like,
yeah, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro.
And people, like, I post pictures of my car. I post pictures like I Rolexes, and my whole life I wanted a gold chain. My whole life, like, it wasn't like I'm trying to be flashy or anything. Like, if you guys only knew, like, what I grew up like with, like, this stuff is icing on the cake compared to what's truly inside, the stuff that money can't buy. You know what I mean? This 100%. Stuff is just, it ain't gonna be here with me when I go. But when I go, you know, and we'll get into that now. Is that legacy? What am I leaving behind? You know, with the Charlie Kirk thing with his kids, whether you like him or you don't like the guy, you know, his kids will never see him grow up. He'll never see his kids grow up. So what did he leave behind that we have access to nowadays is content, social media, videos on the internet that his kids will get to see what type of person he was and how he carried himself.
They're gonna be super happy to see who their father is, super proud of their father no matter what.
So I jumped on that because, like, that's the legacy I want to leave behind, whether, you know, leaving hope, leaving flooding the internet with positivity and telling people that, guess what? if I can do it, you can do it. Or
Exactly. Even with little quotes like that, something. Even if we say things that you heard 1,000 times, but we still put it out there, and you understand that's how we feel, and that's who we truly are.
Nothing's original, man. It's already been said
1,000
we
times.
just words we record it.
There's
now.
enough of it. There's enough of it.
Yeah.
So everything that we say has been written before, and it's been heard. But yeah, man, like, it's how you said, bro. Like what we leave behind, and it's deeper than rap. It's deeper than money. Deeper than all of that. Like, who you really were. Are your kids gonna
the authentic
Are your kids
part.
gonna know who you really were? Or they're just gonna have this image. Oh, my dad went to work hard as hell, like. Or my dad thought like this. This is my dad's principles.
He was somebody.
I'm gonna move like this because my dad moved like that. My dad never looked at his friend's wife, so I'm never gonna do that. My dad never
100%.
robbed from one or stole from one of his friends. I'm never gonna do that. My dad respected the older people, so I'm gonna do that. My dad believed in his dream, and even if he was injured and got hurt 3-4 times on the same shoulder, he still came back and fought and swung that same shoulder again. So I want my kids to live to that. I want my kids to look at me in that ring, even if I die in that ring, for them, like, my dad never took a step back. He stood there to the end.
Didn't give up.
And that's what I'm leaving behind too. So it's great that you brought that topic up, and people don't see it like that. People only, what you leave? Generational wealth. What do you do with leaving billions of dollars to your kid and no knowledge whatsoever? What are they going to do with that money? Destroy themselves.
100%.
If you don't leave them no moral, no principle, what are they going to do with it? What are they going to do with your name? Shit on your name later on in life when they do some dumb stuff, and then you're dead and you're the legend that you thought you were, right? And then, your kids shit on your name, like completely shit on your name. Like, this guy's son did this and that. They're not going to say, your legacy's gone. So you got to leave the right message behind. And that's the most important part.
I think you see it too a lot of times with, I'm familiar with a lot of folks in my area who, they're like, their family name is around. They have had a company that's been around town for 40 years or whatever, 3-4 generations. But by the time you get to that third or fourth generation, that same hunger and drive isn't inside of that family as the first one.
100%.
And yes, we can be the first ones in our family that were successful or became, rich or whatever you want to call it. But like
you're gonna be hungry the same.
I want to teach the stuff that money can't buy. I want to teach the gratitude, the love, true love, and being okay with telling my son, guess what? I've cried before. Guess what? I'm sensitive. It doesn't make me any less of a man. I like the saying, like, pray for peace and prepare for war. Joe Rogan said it best. I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. So like, people ask me, like, what are you training for? I'm like, I'm training for whatever. Like, it was in our Bible study, somebody said something. They said, if you're standing right next to your kin, your son, your family, somebody you're close to, and the guy's standing in front of you with an AR-15, and he says, I'm going to kill that person unless you denounce your faith. I said, I'm going out with bullet holes. I'm going out fighting because I ain't going to, denounce my faith. And that's, like you said, that's that ruthlessness. That's that rugged, not giving up mentality, that attitude where, like, yeah, my shoulder's gone, but I'm going to finish this fight. And nobody even knows it until the end. You know what I mean? Like, this guy just fought a fight with no left arm,
right arm, my strong
whatever,
arm.
Right? And
the strong one.
and so, like,
I did it twice. I did it for my championship fight, and I did it in the last fight too.
That's the ruggedness, you know what I'm saying? That ruthlessness, and that's what we want to leave behind. That's the legacy we want to leave behind. We want to show people that, like, no matter what happens, just keep going.
You won't be able to gain it unless you're willing to die for it. That's literally how it is. How Goggins said one time, you gotta want it as bad as you want to breathe. If you don't want it as bad as you want to take your next breath, you're never gonna get it. It's not gonna be enough. And that's really what it is, bro. You gotta want it that bad. Like, every day you gotta wake up and that gotta be the first thing in your head. What am I gonna do today? Boom, go, boom, 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 boom. Like, again, balance. People say balance is important, but I feel like balance is a weakness when you have a goal and you haven't gotten to where you gotta be.
Yeah.
You need balance once you have everything, so you can balance and,
Well,
maintain.
There's sacrifice to be able to get to that balance, right? So you're like, hey, honey, listen, I got this goal that I'm going on, and I got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday after work, I'm doing this. But it's not forever. It's only going to be for 3 to 6 months until we get past
Even
the
if it's
beginning
3, 4,
stages.
even if it's 3 years, 6 years, it doesn't matter.
If somebody's truly supporting you and they're behind you, then they're going to realize that sacrifice and sacrifice themselves because, hey, look, for a year, I'm not going to get to see you as much. But after that year, I have this saying I tell my wife, and she like tears up now because we came from nothing, man. We couldn't even afford a $500 efficiency apartment 6 years ago. And you know, she's got a successful cleaning company that with two crews that she started because she came home one day and the lady was treating her bad who she worked for. And I said, well, start your own. Do it yourself. Then just stepping out on that faith was hard for her. But once you step out in it, look what God can do. You know, and I have a little saying. I tell her, I say, honey, you think our life's good now? Just wait. And like we joke, I said it last night to her, and like just to see where you come from where you were at, like being in the, you know, in the favelas in Brazil, you know, and to you know, almost being an American citizen. She's got a powerful story too. I'm gonna get her on the podcast one day.
100%. That's crazy. Yeah,
but
people don't get it, bro. Even becoming an American citizen is like a huge thing.
Just to wake up here, you know, like I think about how other people are waking up in the world,
brother.
And that's it, you know.
Cuba has at least 14 hours a day with no light. You know what I'm saying? That's my people. And like, I appreciate that so much, bro. I went back last year after a bunch of years I hadn't gone. I went back, man. It was probably one of the saddest summers of my life. It was real sad. Like, yeah, I was happy to be there. I was happy to see Cuba, you know, but I was sad, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. When you see 16 and 17-year-old kids eating from garbage cans somewhere you never saw that, and then you come back years after and it's like that, and it was already bad. So you can imagine how bad it is, you know, and then there's no light. You're there and you're like, hold up, bro, I've been here for fucking 7 days and at least 5 of them, there's been no light.
No power.
Yeah.
No electricity.
And, you know, and you have your pockets full of money there, and then you're like, but I still can't buy shit. Where can I find this? You know, and then there's certain places that you want to go to, and then even to go in with your girl cousin, you got to prove that your girl cousin is your girl cousin, not the thing that she's a prostitute. You know?
Wow.
Because Cubans are not supposed to go into the restaurants or hotels or the tourists.
Wow.
You know, it's a sad thing over there, you know? So, yeah, man. You know, you got to appreciate this, bro. You got to appreciate being here, appreciate waking up here and being able to at least give it a try, you know? These people don't even have the hope. They can't even try.
Yeah.
There's not even a try to do. Over here, at least you can wake up and get on Instagram and try to put content, at least make money off the Instagram if you're funny enough or something. There's so many opportunities.
There is. I'm walking down the street, I'm like, man, an ice cream shop right there would be a great idea or whatever. Just, that's the way my mind's always working. But it's because of who the people I surround myself with too, because you're like, it's not even for the come up. It's just being creative. It's just having that creative mindset that all of us have. Like, we're all artists. We just need to allow ourselves to be, instead of like waking up in the morning and being focused on that. Alarm went off, get up, get dressed, take a shower, go to work, focus on, I got to go get in the car, go drive to work. Like, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, man, look at the beautiful moon out. Like, look at the stars. Like, hear the birds chirping when I walk out the door. Like, experiencing life and seeing that artistic, creative side that God has provided to us to encounter.
Everything's perfect here, bro.
And but you have to choose to focus on it, and that makes, in my opinion, that makes life easier, because you're like, you still have to do the things you have to do. You still have to go to work. You still got to get in your car, but you can do it with a little bit of peace and joy in your heart. You know?
Enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
Like, actually not feeling like it's a job. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
You know, and that's how it is, man.
So if you had to say something to your younger self, let's say 10 years ago, what would you tell your younger self? What would be the one thing you would want to say?
10 years ago, I had my first kid. So, man, so much I would tell my older self, man. I was going through it, man. You just got to stay strong, bro. Stay strong, believe in yourself. Whatever you feel, keep doing it, because you got it. Trust me, like, you're not crazy. Like, everybody going to tell you you're crazy. Everybody going to tell you you're delusional. Everybody going to shit on you. People going to do you wrong. Your good heart is not. gonna take you where you think is gonna take you. It's gonna be your brain what's gonna take you there, because your good heart will fail you and you will get hurt, and it's gonna happen. You gotta accept it and you gotta keep grinding. But the light is at the end of the tunnel, like it's real. God really got you, bro. You gotta believe it. Give all the glory to Him. Don't ever glorify yourself, because you're gonna fail and you're gonna do that a few times. But when you give the glory to God, life is gonna change completely, bro. I promise you. No matter where you're at the moment, no matter all those years, everything you're gonna go through, just understand you're building the tolerance to be able to take the pressure to become the diamond you were born to be. You know what I'm saying? All the struggles, all that is just building you, bro. Building character, making you stronger, making you understand certain things, how to move in certain environments, you know? Teaching you how to pick where to be, when to be, and who to be. You know, all that is going to come along, and just appreciate the people that love you, because people love you more than you think. That's what I would have told myself.
Awesome. Bro, this has been an amazing experience. I think
Appreciate
we're
you, bro.
definitely spitting fire. And, you know, that's the one thing that I wanted to get from this whenever, you know, it was put on my heart to have this podcast, is to get stories out. You know, everybody has one. Everybody has a past. Everybody has adversity. Everybody has discipline that they've gone through. And don't be afraid to share it. You know, get up and, you know, write it down through a text message to yourself, and you know, just get it out. People need to hear the stories that we've been through.
100%, bro.
And you know, there's there's light at the end of the tunnel.
100%.
Because, you know, I'm living proof of it. He's living proof of it. So just keep going. Don't give up. And anything else you want to say to the audience?
Man, no, I just want to thank you for having me on, man. And it was great to be able to share my experience with your platform. You know, hopefully we, you know, later on in the future, when things change a little more, we'll be able to come back and, you know, tell you guys a little more how things, you know, 100%. How God has handled my life from this point on, and what I've learned, and, you know, because you're always going to better yourself, man. So I would love to come along and, you know, tell you guys how I bettered myself through the years. So it'll be pretty cool, man.
Definitely. All right. So that's it for the episode 5 of Discipline and Legacy. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.